Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick here. You can see my labelling there, and the show once again is on. We are now progressing into the second half of the IPL competition. You could argue the second half because we've had 30 games completed now, and of course the victory of Chennai Super Kings last night over the Mumbai Indians that looked like they were going to have a better chance of winning, but didn't quite get there. So Chennai Super Kings beating Mumbai Indians, leave Mumbai Indians a little precariously without a few victories there, but it pushes CSK to number one, followed by Delhi Capitals at number two, and of course third is RCB. And those three teams now, Chennai Super Kings from qualifying for the semi-finals. Same with Delhi Capitals, of course, and only the one win needed by RCB, which could well happen tonight in match 31. Could see those three sides all only needing two games to qualify, which would be a pretty solid situation for the top three to be those three sides, with fourth up for grabs, effectively, with Mumbai Indians being the one that's slightly ahead at this point in time. Dave Sharp saying Kolkata Knight Riders will win this match, and Manu John saying KOHLI is abandoning RCB captaincy next year. Well, the RCB captaincy scenario is neither here nor there at the moment, because they'll be playing for the next, well, there's another 30 matches, including tonight, to go ahead, so that you would think that there's still a fair bit of this 21 season to actually include the playing ability or playing capability of the RCB side, the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Of course, with Virat Kohli, it does open the door for AB de Villiers to take that role on, and there's quite a few other players in the squad that may even want to do it as well. Of course, they've got Kohli, de Villiers, Adam Zamp is not here, Dev Padikal is certainly here, Kane Richardson, I believe, is not here, Mohammad Siraj is, Navdeep Saini, Pavan Deshpande, Shahbaz Ahmed, Sundar's not here, Chahal, Sam's not here, Harshal Patel, Glenn Maxwell, of course, he's there, Sachin Baby, Rajat Patida, Mohammad Azharuddin, Kyle Jamieson, Dan Christian, well, he's not there, I believe, Suyash, Prabhudesa, Kes Bharat, Finn Allen, Scott Gugelin, Akash Deep, who's been, and Dush Mantha, Chamira, George Garton, Tim David Winindu Hazaranga have all joined the RCB squad. Still very strong, with the main three of de Villiers, Kohli, and of course Glenn Maxwell, quite a strong. Daniel Sams is a bit of a loss. I think that may be a bit disappointing for them. But if they win tonight against their opposition, which is Kolkata Knight Riders, they'll see the top three teams, as I said earlier, Chennai Super Kings, Delhi Capitals, and Royal Challengers Bangalore, all three of them only needing two more wins to actually to qualify for the semi-finals, which I'd say the three teams are pretty much through. I think RCB have got a very good chance to win tonight, despite the fact that Kolkata Knight Riders have got commentator Dinesh Karthik in there, of course, Morgan Russell, Nagarkoti, Kuldeep Yadav, Lucky Ferguson, Rana, Pat Cummins not there, Prasadi Krishna is, Tripathi, you've got the likes of Shubman Gill, Narayan, Seifert, Chakravarti, Shakib Al Hussain, Sheldon Jackson, there's Karun Nair, Harbhajan Singh, Ben Cutting, who seems to be just looking pretty, he doesn't seem to be playing much cricket. In fact, it's very disappointing. Some of these Australian players just are either not getting it going, so it's just not good enough. And then you got Venkatesh Iyer, Pawan Negi, Gurkharat Man Singh, and Tim Southey is in there. Tim Southey has joined the group for Pat Cummins, so he's a good player. How is Melbourne Storm doing? Well, Raid PMB 9. Melbourne Storm will play the Penrith Panthers next week, and the other semi-final is the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Yes, my team, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, will play the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. So effectively, that will be the semi-finals next week. And if South then play in the grand final, we're going to play that game live on my YouTube channel. I might just do that. What is the COVID situation in Adelaide and Sydney? Adelaide's better, Sydney's getting better, but it's still far from good. So I don't understand why KOHLI leaving the RCB. He's not leaving RCB, he's leaving the captaincy perhaps. Look, he has had his fair crack at the role, and he understands he's got to concentrate on his batting. He's got a lot of pressures all around his cricket. He's stepped out of the T20 format as well. He still is at this point the ODI captain, but may well relinquish that after the next World Cup. And then ultimately his main concentration is Test cricket. So look, he's had a fair crack at this, and I think he needs to. He's made that decision, and it's been a very strong one. So good on him. I've got a lot of time for him. Will the Ashes rate MPB? You're asking a lot of questions. Yes, of course it's going to happen. No Ashes series will be knocked off because of COVID, I'll tell you. Technical guys, when will you do a show with Vikrant Gupta? When I get a chance to. He's obviously busy as well, so I've got my show. He'll come on every time, don't worry. But I'm going to be joined, hopefully, by some people today. Yasundhi Hapathanthantri, hi. Vincent Louis, your prediction on today's match. My prediction, RCB, I think RCB. Even though Pat Cummins is not there, so Owen Morgan, who has not been in good form at all. Andre Russell's obviously there, but see, Sim Southey will be a welcome addition, but I think it's going to be RCB got a lot more importance on their positioning. They win tonight, then they join CSK and Delhi Capitals on the same points, which I think is 12 if I'm not wrong, and effectively that will mean that we'll have a situation where three teams will only need 2 games to win, and they're clearly going to do that. So the top 3 sides, the top 3 contenders for the flag or the title are definitely RCB, Delhi Capitals, and CSK. Mumbai Indians were touch disappointing last night. Had an opportunity to pull one back on CSK, but didn't. They did very well early on. They had in a lot of trouble, but they clawed back, and they batted. Gaikwad batted particularly well. Batted sensationally well, actually, and really deserves his victory, indeed. So yeah, the Kolkata Knight Riders and Royal Challengers Bangalore match begins. So Chennai Super Kings are currently on 12. So are Delhi Capitals after 8 games. RCB after tonight's game will go potentially to 12 if they win, and that's going to put a big dent in KKR, who have only won 2 matches out of their 7. Dave Sharp maintains KKR to win today. That's gone here, but I think it's going to be RCB. Ashwin Kishore says thoughts on KOHLI stepping down as RCB. Well, as he's done with the T20 format after the World Cup, he's stepping down. This year, RCB, who've got a great chance of doing well this time. He's decided that's a strong decision. Very strong decision. A good decision if that's what he feels is right for him. And that's what's important there. If he feels ready to go, that's fine. Lokesh S. Mumbai playing finals at Abu Dhabi and Sharjah will help them, having played last year. Yeah, well, they're going to need to get their act together pretty quickly, I tell you. Virat Kohli remained batting in all 3 formats, as well as RCB batting for a long time until the last day he plays cricket. Well, it is an upside. He's not going anywhere. He's still playing. He's still playing, still batting, still be a part of their leadership group, not despite not being captain. BCCI has announced FTP. I'm not sure that is. Yeah, KKR.
How about you?
I'm very relaxed today. Very relaxed indeed. I'm more bushy-tailed. I didn't do a post-show last night.
Okay.
And I think we don't really need to. I think we'll do a pre-show for both and include some of the previous day in our commentary. Clearly, last night's game, at one stage, it looked like Mumbai Indians were going to win. Early on, they looked like they really had...
the power play itself.
Yeah.
For me, the person who lost the match was, asked me, I would believe it would be Kieran Pollard, his captaincy. It was horrible.
He didn't continue to put the you know, thumb on the head of the play at that stage, he could well have done so. Oh, Gurkha Gillis here. What happened? So you weren't here for the. So your team again is Delhi Capitals, correct?
But KKR have a Gill, so it's appropriate that you also have a Gill on your show to preview the same game, isn't it?
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah,
It's Gurkha Singh Gill, Shubman Gill, and I've got gills. Is that what you're trying to say? I
yeah.
have got gills.
See,
These are
see,
gills.
see, see, the thing is, this is what I have observed, that as long as you are, acting as someone who's self-obsessed, you think it's fine. When someone else does it, you find it an issue.
I beg your pardon.
By the way, I think we are going to be on the Delhi Capitals watch party as well after 2 days from now.
Yeah, that's on the 22nd, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be on that, and I'm not going to be quiet. I'm warning
He
you.
shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
We're actually going to be joined by someone else too today. Actually, Darren Stevens, the English
Yep, yep,
sensation.
yep.
He was going to join. Alan Mullally organised to get him on, so we'll see when he comes on. Maybe not tonight, but at one stage.
But
There are one.
Darren Stevens doesn't seem to be aging at all.
Who? No,
Darren
he's not.
Stevens. Yeah.
No, he's not. And he'll show. Well, we'll see. We'll see his wrinkles on TV when he's on my YouTube. There'll be no makeup given to him. Okay, so he won't be able to cover any blemishes. I'll tell you now. Now, Kushan Sarkar may join us as well. He planned to join. The writer of the book that's come out, the unfinished. What's it called again?
Mission Domination.
So, Mission Domination. Unfinished quests. Mission Domination.
Yeah, I prefer stargazing. The players in.
Look, okay, we're gonna just talk quickly about tomorrow. Yeah, well, not tomorrow. The idea, Gil, is that I'm not going to do preview post view. It'll be preview, which includes the previous night's rundown where necessary. I think that's more than I think 2 shows is a bit much. Why? Because it's too late. Even for Indians, it's too late to sit up to that point. So the reality is last night's match between Mumbai Indians and CSK just showed me how serious we've got to take CSK. Really, they know how to win a game, especially after they were really under the pump early on, weren't they? When Kieran Pollard's team looked really on top of the game, and Adam Milne had a sensational bowling effort, really, didn't he? And they looked on top. But then Gaikwad, what a fantastic performance. He scored, was it 88? I think he scored. It was a magnificent innings. Batted from the very first ball to the very last ball. And that's the key to T20 cricket. An early batsman has to anchor the innings. I think that's the key. Of course, Mumbai is sitting across line. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think he played well, of course, but there are a couple of things that could have been done differently. I thought Pollard, took his pedal off the accelerator when he had Chennai under the pump, 4 down, 24 for 4. Somewhere between overs 7 to 13, he could have bowled 1 over of Jasprit Bumrah to try and get Gaikwad out. He allowed MI to make that bounce back. If nothing else, he could have used a Bolt, because Bolt is not a good death bowler, and there have been countless instances of him going for runs at the death so many times. So what Pollard could have done is probably finished off Bolt's 4th over within the first 10 overs itself, and just try and get another wicket if possible, because there was some assistance early on for the faster bowlers. So it didn't really make sense for Bolt to bowling that 1 over in the end. I thought even Pollard could have done it, because these are bigger grounds. He has that spongy bounce in his bowling, so he's not the easiest bowlers to line up. And we have seen that, with a lot of batsmen, that Pollard's not the easiest to line up. So maybe that could have been done. That is one thing. The other thing is, like you said, about anchoring. I'm not so sure that it should be the template on every pitch and on every innings. On pitches where there is some assistance, like it was yesterday, yes, it does make some sense. But yesterday, I thought it was more of a forced hand for Gaikwad to anchor because when you are effectively five down, because Raidu also got injured in the power play, there is no other option but to anchor. So I don't think he had many options anyway. But just that I felt Pollard could have slightly used his bowlers better. That is one. And two, I thought Mumbai did bat well. Saurabh Tiwari could have also won the game for Mumbai considering how Adam Milne was striking it. Adam Milne was striking it well. It's just that I thought because Saurav Tiwari hasn't been fit enough, he was losing shape in the end and he just couldn't connect it. His basics of the batting are still there, but he was just tired. So maybe if he had a better fitness, he could have, made a difference, I thought.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, Mumbai Indians, to me, I don't know whether it's habit or what. They seem to like it, make it difficult for themselves and make a strong run home. I don't know what's going on because they better be careful because if Punjab Kings wins the next match, they're on equal points to Mumbai Indians, which they need 4 matches to get through.
So the
It's going to be hard.
one thing
And they
is
know
clear
about
that even if Mumbai qualify for the playoffs, right, they will not be finishing. It's very difficult for them to finish in the top two, right? They need to win at least 4 games to make it to eight, and probably if they have to make it to top two, they have to win the next 5 out of 6 games. Now, uh, whenever Mumbai has played the eliminator, whether it be 2011 or 2012 or 2014, they have not made it to the finals. 2011, they won the eliminator, but they lost in the qualifier too. 20, 2012, they lost in the eliminator itself. 2014, they lost in the eliminator itself. So if Mumbai Indians don't make the top two, we could very well see a new champion. Because and anyway, there's only been one team that has played the eliminator and won the IPL, which is Sunrisers Hyderabad in 2016. And there's only Chennai Super Kings apart from Sunrisers Hyderabad who reached the finals after playing the eliminator in 2012. So if Mumbai Indians don't make it to the top two, we could very well see a new champion team this time.
Yeah, look, you're right. You're perfectly right. But I mean, we can't always go off previous records, though, Gil. You've got to be careful. I mean, you've got
Of course we
justification
can't.
there,
Of
yes.
course. Which is why I said that we may. I'm not saying we will for sure, but I'm saying we may if that happens. So it's we're not just talking of a previous record of 1 year or two edition or 2 years. We are talking of a previous record that has been there for last 10 years. Because come the knockouts, it is very difficult for any team to win 3 games in a row to win the IPL. That is what I'm trying to say, that if they are going to play the eliminator, we might see a new champion. But if they make it to the top two, then a hat trick might as well be on the cards.
Yeah, I agree. Look, the reality is that we are looking down. I've got strong feelings for Delhi Capitals. I've said that from the very beginning, before the first match. I still maintain that. Um, I've just had a Nepalese women's player want to join. No, I can't get it on. Okay. So the reality is that I can't see anyone out of the top three winning this. RCB, Delhi Capitals, and CSK. I think those three are the ones that they're in the league now. They've only got 2 games to win. They're going to be the three that'll decide. I don't think any of the rest of the teams, including Mumbai Indians, will get through. Especially now that we've got such a broken series, I think that the player movements as well have CSK has barely lost anyone really. I don't think they've lost anyone significant. So
No,
I still maintain Delhi Capitals, but we'll see
CSK
how
will
RCB.
lose. CSK will lose Moeen Ali and Sam Curran in the playoffs because English cricketers are not going to be available in the playoffs.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, Mo and Ali, I would argue, is not.
they are going to Pakistan. That's the reason for the Pakistan matches.
I'm not sure if it is for the Pakistan matches or is it for the preparation camp that
Okay.
the English team is going to have, but they will not be available for the playoffs.
Well, it can't be for Pakistan because that tour looks like it's unlikely to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Very unlikely. Okay, let's go. Okay, so last night's win certainly pushes CSK in the limelight and makes it more difficult for Mumbai Indians. RCB tonight have got a lot to play for because they want to keep up with Delhi Capitals and KKR with CSK. So I'm expecting RCB to come out really strongly today. KKR still are fairly weak. They've lost Pat Cummins. They've got South Indies place, but Owen Morgan hasn't been in any form. I can't see anyone else but RCB winning this. Maxwell, De Villiers and KOHLI will be chomping at the bit to play if they're all playing. So just on the KOHLI scenario, let's talk about that for a minute. KOHLI's RCB Instagram video through the actual Bangalore website and their various social media sites. He said exactly what he said about his T20 World Cup scenario, that post the World Cup, post the IPL this year, he's relinquishing captaincy. And then Baram and others have been sending me messages today about other thoughts about dissension in the camp. I don't think it's that. I think KOHLI's made a strong decision, and I think it's good that he's made the decision. What's your thoughts, guys?
On that, I
If
can.
you look at, yeah, Behram, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I was saying on that based on all the like news channel reports and everything what I'm saying and way this Virat Kohli thing panned out, it really looks that there is something is not, things don't add up on Kohli part. Yes, I agree that it was very logical. Like remember we also spoke last time that if he's giving away his T20 captaincy, why is he not giving away the IPL captaincy? Because logically that should be the first thing which should come out of the workload. So him deciding also on the IPL captaincy is also something. It's like good. It makes sense with what he has been saying. And the other part is that it at least shows that I think he was not pressurized to give away his captaincy or something on that line. So that's really what I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he was pressured at all. I think that's it's easy to say that when a person says they no longer want to be captain, everyone can easily say, "Oh, he's been pressured. Oh, he's been pushed." No, KOHLI's not really in that mindset. I'm very impressed that he has actually done it on his own 2 feet and relatively early, before the World Cup, before the IPL really finishes. So it's pretty strong.
Norman, if you look at India's schedule after the World T20, right? Just let me read out that schedule for you. So after the World T20, India play. Yeah, just hold on. Just let me look for it. Just give
I'm
me a
not going
minute.
anywhere. Baram, are you going anywhere? I'm not there. We're not going anywhere. We're
Yeah.
sitting
So
here.
after the
Don't worry.
from October 24 to November 14, India play the 2020 World Cup. Then after that, from November 17 to 7 December, they have the they have the New Zealand tour of India. From December 17 to Jan 26, they are touring South Africa. Feb 6 to 20th Feb, West Indies come to India. Feb 25 to March 18, Sri Lanka tour to India. April and May is going to be IPL 2022.
Oh my God.
Then June 9 to 19 is South Africa touring India. July 1 to 14 July is India touring England for the white ball leg of the series, right?
And
Now,
maybe another test match too.
yeah, and maybe another test match. Now, after having this kind of schedule, why would you want only one player to be captaining all formats? It makes no sense. And this is something that when Virat called quits on his captaincy, we were discussing the same thing, that one, it is an unprecedented for a captain to announce his resignation from captaincy when he's had a successful tour. uh, you know even if the series might not have a result yet, but I think everyone will agree that of the 4 tests that were played in England, India were easily the better side. And if you look at Kohli's record, it's second to none when it comes to test matches anyway. So it's a very selfless move in a way that he's looking out for the team, and he's ensuring that he's taking some break and rejuvenating his batting. And I think it makes complete sense, just the way the schedule that I read out. Why would you want your best batsman to be drained out like this? I personally feel that post this T20 World Cup, India should not be having Kohli play T20 internationals at all. They should focus all his energies towards Test cricket and ODI cricket, because India have enough batsmen in the waiting, right? After, okay, you look at the players who've not made it to the World T20 side, right? there's Shreyas Iyer, there's Shikhar Dhawan, there's Prithvi Shaw, there's Shubman Gill, there's Devdutt Padikkal, there's Ruturaj Gaikwad, there's Riyan Parag, there's Abdul Samad, there's Nitish Rana, there's Sanju Samson. India have enough batsmen waiting in the wings for India to be letting go of both Virat and Rohit of the T20 internationals, because you also have to look at their age. Rohit is going to be 35 in next April, right? And you obviously want him to play the 2023 World Cup and then post that play as much test matches as possible, because opening is also a very difficult job. So I personally felt, and I have been saying this for a long time, that India really don't need the top three to be playing T20s after this World Cup. But now that Rohit might be made the captain, I think Rohit will play the next T20 World Cup as well. But I personally believe that there's no need for the likes of Rohit and Virat to be spending any time on T20 internationals, because India have so much of batting depth, and you essentially also want to groom young players, right? You want them to be thrown in the pressure situation, and you can do that in bilateral T20s. They don't even have a significance from a Super League kind of view, or a World Test Championship point of view, where every match carries points, in the bigger scheme of things. So I think it's the time has come that maybe BCCI manages their workload a lot better than what they've been doing right now, because the scheduling is just ridiculous. It's like they are not human beings, they are machines, and it's really not sustainable. Even if
But you
you
know
don't
what?
have the
They're
bio
going to
bubble.
have to. You know what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to maintain, in my opinion, I don't know how they're going to do it, a month break at one or two stages of a year. They have to try to work out some way to give a complete month off. Go back home and rest for all countries. They have to do something. They should knock out a certain month of the year and say that's a non-cricket month. Really, they should, because it's far too much. There has to be something done, because this is breaking point. There's too much cricket. There is way, way too much cricket in the world.
or
I
or
think
if you or if you want to go ahead and do it, you have to keep two different teams completely. You cannot have the same set of players playing this
no,
much cricket. It's
not
just
yet.
ridiculous. And the way things are going, we might not see uh, an Anderson or a Tendulkar kind of a longevity. I'm sure if Tendulkar and Anderson had to play like this, they also wouldn't have been able to play for 2 decades. It would have taken a toll on their bodies for sure. So this is something that, I think this is also something where the ICC needs to step in to ensure that only the big three are not playing cricket, but the other boards are also playing cricket. At the end of the day, you want the sport to develop. You don't want it to be constricted to two or three nations, which is what is happening as of now. Especially with the power the big three have. So yeah,
But
I mean,
see, India in particular has to also take the foot off the pedal a bit. They have to also say, right, money's there, we understand that, but commitments are there, but right, we're going to choose the month of, I don't know, April or some month. That month is gone. Should be
but
completely.
there's one thing where you have to give credit to the BCCI, is that BCCI still play the smaller teams. They still play a Bangladesh. They still play a Sri Lanka. They still play a West Indies. Australia don't do that at all. Australia don't do that at all. And I think that is why when BCCI needs its lobbying to be done, all boards, fall in line, because they know that BCCI is also one of the boards or one of the teams that are going to tour them when they want, right? They tour Sri Lanka, they play Bangladesh, they even play West Indies, and they were also going to tour Zimbabwe when Zimbabwe were stripped of the ICC status. In the very same year, they were going to tour Zimbabwe as well. So this is where I think England and Australia also need to play their part, where they are also touring the other teams, which they don't do.
Yeah, look, there has to be consistency brought in. And the first thing my first agenda is to stop playing as much cricket. That is, that is, that
I would
is,
also say the split of the IPL, it feels like IPL is going on since last almost 2 years. with the previous IPL, the IPL, the break
Oh
between
God,
this,
it's too.
and again after 6 months we'll have the next IPL. I feel IPL they should make it once every 2 years, if you ask me.
There's some. Well, the biggest problem for the IPL will be having potentially 10 teams. That means they'll have 84 matches, not 60. 84 matches will take almost 3 months. I don't know how they're going to do it. I do not know how they're going to do it. All right, just quickly, Samantha Ashwashi said earlier, Mumbai Indians is not winning the IPL this year. It's going to be CSK, or we will have a new champion. Any team who will win it will be the first-time champion. That's. I think I agree with him. I agree with that. I think there's going to be a change.
I think it will be Mumbai Indians.
Sorry?
I said I think it will be Mumbai Indians.
Yeah. Okay. Done, Gil. I've just done it. Okay. All right. So the reality is that do you think Mumbai Indians is still going to win, Baran?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Mumbai Indians, so I have to support them.
Yeah, put your fan stuff to one side for a minute. Stop. Take your hand off one eye and be one-eyed. Be two-eyed. Open up. Okay.
Yeah, this is what. See, for Mumbai Indians to win, they have to lose the first match. They did exactly. The second leg happened. They lost the first match, so they are right on track. What more do you want?
Exactly.
And I'm wearing your shirt also, Norman. So you need to agree to me. Koshenek, Koshenek.
Oh my God. Looks like a Rolling Stones t-shirt. Okay. All right, Gil. We've got Gil only a short while today, but Gil, just quickly, do you think that RCB will win this match today?
Yes.
I
Because
think they're going to smash KKR. To be honest.
I think they'll win. They'll win easily. You also have to see where the match is happening. The match is happening in Abu Dhabi. Someone like a Mohammad Siraj will be able to take the advantage of the early movement. Pat Cummins is anyway not there for KKR, so I hope to
Yeah.
see Lockie Ferguson play today. Uh, and
Well, Tim
yeah,
South is there
overall,
as well.
I'm
Tim
actually
Southee,
waiting for Hazaranga. Do you think they'll play him?
they might, and I think they'll play Chamira as well or Jamison, one of Chamira or Jamison.
Because Hazaranga is like, I think he can make big breakthroughs.
Hasaranga at this point of time, in my view, is Sri Lanka's best player.
Yeah, they've got 3 of their best players on bans, haven't they? Josh Dickweller and the 2 Mendeses and what have you. Look, really, if RCB win this match, and then you've got RCB, Delhi Capitals, and CSK through, you might as well call the rest of the tournament off and let them 3 play and pick one out of the hat for the 4th spot. I'm being flippant, I know, but really, this is going to be a bit tiresome, a bit painful when we know that the top 3 sides will be through very quickly.
Anyway, I have to leave now. Okay.
All right.
All
right.
I'll join you guys tomorrow if I'm free.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Bye.
Okay. Thanks, Gil. Gil's very, he's got his own thing going on. He's got a few things going. Look, it's just, I'm finding this a little bit frustrating. The motivation levels for the IPL are certainly good, but they're going to have to be careful because I don't think having the split competitions is really going to work because we already know 3 sides that are going to get through. And it's going to make it rather difficult to get motivated, the teams that are not.
Yeah, you could see like many matches be playing just to decide who will be the 4th side to go in.
Yeah.
It looks that way.
Well, I mean, really, as I said, RCB should win tonight. That means they've got 2 games to win. They'll easily beat Sunrise Hyderabad and one other. They're through. They can experiment, do all sorts of things, and wait until the serious stuff happens when they get through to the semi-finals. Same with Delhi Capitals, same with CSK. CSK's victory last night was a very important one for CSK because that just pushes Mumbai Indians further away from them. and that's. I can't see Mumbai Indians getting. Although I can see them scraping into the top 4, but it may just be that. They've got a great squad. We know that, but
They see, don't count them out, Norman. Why? Because they just need to get their act together. It's like it's that thing. This match, if you see, I'm telling you, the match was lost because of the captaincy, the good captaincy of Dhoni and the bad captaincy of Pollard. If you ask me, that's how the match was lost. It was not. I won't say it was the situation, and also Rohit not playing, Hardik not playing. They just need to get the act together, and you saw like last time this IPL that was played in Abu Dhabi, like Mumbai Indians looked like a side, like it was the other 7 teams were not even half of what Mumbai Indians was playing.
no, I don't disagree with you there. My only concern is that they've got to be careful not to. They can't keep leaving it late.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be wary of that. They can't keep keeping it late. Why? Okay, so the question there is why do some of the England players withdraw for the IPL? Well, it sounds like Sam Curran and Moeen Ali are finishing towards the end of it. Bairstow, I don't know what happened there. I really don't. I don't know whether it's necessarily a backlash from the Test series. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because, look, the England players, the Australian players, South African players, they all cherish the IPL because financially it's extremely important. Let's be fair. They're making a lot of money. They're making more money in a month or two than they make in 1 year, if not a few years. I would argue in some cases.
I would say 4 to 5 years.
So really, I mean, it's the most. I mean, to make $1 million in a month or two is outrageous. Even for some of, some of the top cricketers are earning that for a year, and then there's a lot of cricketers like Ben Cutting and Chris Lynn. They're not earning that at all anywhere else. Maybe some of the other comps might be earning some money, but they're not earning the money at all. And I'm a bit annoyed because some of the Australian players that are playing think they're pretty good now, Baram. Why? Because they're getting money, not because they're good enough cricketers. Well, there's a few of them there that really need to wake up themselves and realise they're not as good as they think they are. They've somehow
one way I believe IPL is because, like, if you see some players like Maxwell, for them, like playing 2 IPL, earning let's say 30 million, let's say across 2 or 3 IPLs, let's say they play for 3 years. They are so well off and settled that they don't really need to worry about much or think, like, even if they, you get my point. So that kind of
absolutely. Look at the facts. Dave Warner's worth about 30-40 million. So is Steve Smith, 30-40 million. Michael Clark no longer plays 30-40 million. Pat Cummins, even at such an early stage of his career, has already made 20 or 30 million. You know, he's buying houses worth 9.5 million. So clearly he's, you don't buy a $9.5 million house if you can't afford it.
Okay? Which looks like a 3 million house.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's only really worth 6. Look, their motive and Stark's already worth in that ballpark already. You're right. Those players, and even Maxwell, will be worth a pretty penny. They're sitting back thinking, "Oh, I've made a lot of money now." Their motivation levels have dropped, and there's all sorts of garbage going on. These people, pretty hard to get motivated when you're already worth 30 or 40 million. I'm sorry. But when you look at other sports like American football, baseball, tennis, those guys are driven much harder, aren't they? They really are.
They basically are playing only the league, right? You have to see, like in baseball, you see in basketball, you see in American football. It's that only that league that they play. They are not much national or other competitions or various formats. Like baseball is just baseball. That's one format. Basketball is just basketball. Cricket you have whereas 3 different formats as leagues. Cricket has evolved into a far different game now. I think it's the only game which I think has formats.
But it is interesting though, because behind football or soccer, as I would call it, cricket's the second most watched sport. Okay? Yeah. More than American gridiron, more than even baseball. So, but it doesn't quite get the same financial benefits of those 2 sports, but it's getting there. But I think what happens with cricket, and I'm going to say it again, They're playing too much cricket. They need to have a month, if not 2 months, a month at either ends of the season off. Even us as supporters, we love our cricket. But you know what? Sometimes I wouldn't mind a break.
No, me too. It's like it's overwhelming. Like coming like past, as I told, remember the month of July with that. And I just not watch India matches. Honestly, I'm a too cricket fan, Norman. I was even watching the Afghanistan, sorry, the Bangladesh Zimbabwe Test match. Would you believe it? I actually watched that whole Test match because it was really exciting to see that. And Test cricket is number. I don't miss Test cricket, but. Uh, the amount of cricket was happening was really overwhelming for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm particularly hard on the 100. I didn't have any real enjoyment of that. I'm sorry, it didn't mean anything to me. I just don't the colors of the teams, the names of the teams, oval invincibles. That's a ground. It's not a team. That's a ground.
I don't know where they come up with these funny name, oval invisible, what rockets, then rabbitohs. I don't know where such funny names come up.
I'm sorry, they've lost me. I know they're trying to bring in a new audience. I respect that. I'm not going to knock that. That's their decision to do that. But true cricket tragics, really, if they were wise, they would switch off from the 100, and that's their break time. We should not watch that. If you're a Test cricket follower, a World Cup follower, you should not be watching 100 because it's just not.
I did not see to be open on the 100 also. Okay, you're getting a big format, but how much that was different from a T20? A T20 match plus 4 hours. This was like what 3 hours or something. It was not as if from 4 hours they made it to 2 hours or something that which is closer to a football game or something that they want to get it to. It was not a big drop from that. And plus, on top of that, again, all the confusion of the rules, confusion of the ends, which they are saying for.
Yeah, this is a great comment. Suresh Raina played like a schoolboy. You know what? His batting last night was disgusting. It was embarrassing. He looked like he went out there just to get out. He didn't care less.
Like Pant in the first 3 Test matches.
Well, actually, I'd say much worse. Suresh Raina is also a very wealthy man. He's played almost every IPL since day dot. He would be worth a very pretty amount of money. He looked completely disinterested last night. The team won, though, yes, but his own personal performance, those shots he played over, I don't know what, it was worse than punt. It was way worse than punt. They were awful. It was really bad. It wasn't based on bad form. It was just very poor, even schoolboy-like shots. It looked very, very ordinary. It was very sad, actually. I was quite shocked at how I thought CSK were going to lose, but then Gaikwad, Jadeja, who looked pretty good, and then ultimately they got through and they scored. Gaikwad was fantastic. You got to give praise to his performance last night. That was really good.
And that last over also really pulled back the momentum. Also, that momentum which if you're scoring 24 runs of the over is also something which changes the momentum.
Yeah. So who was the other batsman that scored runs? Oh, Bravo.
23 of 8 balls.
He looked. The West Indian players, they know where their bread's buttered. They don't take half-heartedly to these. They're very serious. Pollard, Bravo, obviously Gale. There's a whole range of players that know that this is important to them, and they take it. Okay, so Virat plays his 20th IPL match today. That's a big achievement. Don't make fun of 100. It's the entertainment of fun. Well, not for me. It's not. I'm not impressed by it. I don't. You know what? I'll be really honest with you, Baron. I'm not going to cover a 100 match.
No.
I mean, the women's.
I watched even a couple of 100 games and I was just not impressed. It means it did not make any. The smaller the formats are getting, as a cricket lover, I'm not loving. Like I watched the T10 and it was like horrible. Like every match looked the same to me. I watched 3 and 4 match and it was the same plot playing on. Just the players are different, but there was nothing to like there was no story unfolding. You know, like in a match, you have like a
No,
story unfolding. In case
it
of the
looked
start
like
of the
it
match,
looked, it looked like coloured outfits in park cricket. I'm sorry, and what they okay, but look, if there's an audience for that, if they're getting young kids in, they're getting families in that want entertainment. Well, good, it's good for them. But true cricket tragics can't take the form, the style of cricket into play, and probably shouldn't watch it. Not in protest, but more about just simply picking their audience.
I don't know. This Doctor Rai is
Yeah,
confused.
forget that. That's okay. We won't worry with that. We don't want Doctor. You come and talk on the channel. The points that you're making is good. I agree. I think you're doing okay. All right. To me, the key to today is I don't know. Do you think they're going to play? Will Virat Kohli play? Will De Villiers play? Will Glenn Maxwell play? Because Rohit Sharma was rested from the previous match. Although they reckon he was ready to play, but they decided not to play him. I was interested to see that. What's his
Very
name?
surprising that Rohit did not play the match. Means he's the captain and he's what Mumbai Indians is, right? You know, like you identify Mumbai Indians with Rohit Sharma and Bumrah, and that's what even they are saying. Like in the next IPL, these are the two players whom they are going to keep, and you identify Mumbai Indians with that. So Rohit Sharma was not playing was way something must be there. You know, it was very weird that he was not playing. And let me tell you, if he would have played, forget even if he would have not scored, I would say Mumbai India would have won because he would have captained or he is very good in selecting the bowlers and reading the situation. That's the
Oh, but Kieran Pollard. Don't knock Kieran Pollard. He's a pretty good captain too. Don't worry. West Indies were very. Don't worry. He may have had a bit of an off match yesterday, but he's generally pretty good too. So today, win the toss and what? I would say bat.
bat, yeah.
Because of the dew factor, I think you need to bat first.
Correct.
Yeah, Harsh Gupta, the scoreboard was hard to understand.
I would agree with Harsh. When I was seeing the scoreboard or things, it reminded me of the Power Rangers. You know, when I was a kid, I used to watch Power Rangers, and exactly the same. I don't know if Harsh has seen Power Rangers, he will agree with me.
The truth is, it's just something where a test match diehard cricket fan like me and you are, Barham, we won't appreciate the 100. It'll take about a generation for it to sink in. I don't like it. It's not my go. Yeah, batting first is definitely good. Virish open today. Thoughts? Well, it'd be nice to see him do that, but I don't. Who did they open with previously? They opened up with Gill's. Who's in the side? Hang on. They had.
Virat was opening up with Padikkal, right? Padikkal. No.
Yeah, Padikkal, definitely.
Yeah.
Who opened with him last time? Who was the opener with him last time? I can't remember.
Padikkal.
It wasn't Kohli. It wasn't Kohli. Padikkal was with someone. Was it Washington Sundar open at one stage? I'm not sure.
I remember Padikkal. Somebody in the chat
I'm hoping Shubman Gill plays because I feel sorry for him. He's now really dropped in his ranking for Test cricket behind KL Rahul, behind Agarwal. You'd have to think he's going to struggle. We'll see what happens when it comes to the New Zealand Indian Test series at home, whether Gill is put straight back in. I don't think he will be. Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul have sewn his opening spot up totally. Yeah, Doctor, you didn't mention that. I did remember that. You did mention that. But look, Virat Kohli. Let's not forget. Virat Kohli is someone who is still going to be playing these matches, and if he's free to bat, maybe okay. He probably sees this as his last opportunity to win the IPL as a captain with RCB, and he's got a very good team, and he will be with a great chance. But they have to start by winning tonight. I think this game is important because if they don't win tonight, then both Delhi Capitals and CSK got a game up on them in terms of result. Now, I don't think that's a good sign. I think RCB have got to keep up with them. And they should beat KKR. So KKR have been awful.
In next season, who do you think RCB will put as a captain? They will obviously buy somebody from out because they can only keep two players, right? So they will keep Virat and whom? Who will they keep?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the squad.
Virat and
No one
AB.
sticks. I mean, really, other than AB de Villiers himself, you know who I think the best player in that squad, other than KOHLI for captaincy? It won't happen, but I like to see Dan Christian captain. He's a good captain. He'd be good, but that's not going to be the case because I'm sure next year. Look, who knows? Next year's a complete full auction next year, Baran. There'll be all sorts of changes. I'm
Remember,
sure.
it's not next year. It's barely the auctions and everything would be barely 4 months from now, and the IPL would be 6 months from now. So it's not. We are
That's
saying a year, but keep in mind it's not year. It's six. It's six
yeah, I
months.
know, but
We know the teams
I hate
and
to say this. I hope they don't split next year's comp. That'll be a disaster because it feels like another comp. And again, 10 teams or 8 teams. What do you think?
10. No, are you asking
84
like 10?
matches. 84 matches.
Yeah, I know it's too much, but maybe they
You
change the
can't.
format to make it smaller. I don't know.
Well, they're going to have to play 2 games on the one night. They're going to have to play a lot more games, 2 games on the one night. They're going to have to play 30 games on two a night. They're going to have to do something like that because they can't spread it out any further.
Even this side, see, it is so much money is entwined that even given this situation, this Corona situation and everything, still the weekdays they are still playing only one match, and it's only on Saturday, Sunday that they are playing two matches. Some weekdays they are playing two matches, but that also I find it. Why didn't they have two matches and maybe give more time, give rest to the players before the T20 World Cup? But again, it's all due to the money talks.
True. So they've finished 30 matches. They've got 30 to go. They talked about this being last night's game was a whirlwind adventure. It certainly did ebb and flow. Can we cope with this? There's also this. They believe the KKR RCB fixture is a chaotic fixture. Sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. I hope.
KKR RCB a chaotic fixture means I didn't get it.
Well, they think that there's a lot of ebbs and flows. The game is all over the place. That they're fairly erratic teams. I don't know what that means.
Will happen tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
But look, RCB, they need to get their act together and say, right, we're going to put a stamp on this second session and win the first game, win it well. As did CSK. I'm expecting Delhi Capitals to win their first game back as well. So I think it's important for these teams have to qualify. They have to get through and qualify. Once they're qualified, they can take the foot on the pedal a little bit and experiment and rest or whatever they want to do. Okay, my playing 11 for RCB today. At this early stage, I'm expecting the big guns of KOHLI, de Villiers and Maxwell all to play. Adam Zampa's not there. Dev Patakal will be in the side. Mohammad Siraj will probably play with Navdeep Saini. Yuzvendra Chahal he'll want to play. He wants to prove a point before the World Cup. Harsh Patel. They may give George Garton a go, or they may bring Hasaranga in straight away as well. We're not sure. But it'll be a good mix of players. They've got a lot of depth. I think they have not lost many players in this mix. But Kolkata Knight Riders have lost their best bowler, haven't they? Pat Cummins.
Yeah.
And their best all-rounder, really, effectively as well.
Yeah, it was a good also. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I think that him not being in the Kolkata Knight Riders side, they only won 2 games with him. Cole Jamieson might play. We might see him play as well.
Do you think they will play Hazaranga? Vanindu Hazaranga? I think they will play him.
Hazaranga, yeah, they'll play him. I mean, it's how far we got. We've still got another 5 minutes for their toss and their selection. So the venue is Zayed Cricket Stadium, Abu Dhabi. The umpires are Chris Gaffney. It's funny how a lot of these umpires have come out of the woodwork, but they're getting paid well. And you've got S. Ravi, Virendra Sharma, and Alas Gandhi. Referees Narayan Kuti V. Okay. So they're effectively now, it'll be only a matter of a minute or so before 4 minutes apparently until the toss will come through. Kolkata Rose.
How was Virat's winning the IPL tosses? Same losing all the time, or because I don't remember the.
Who's on a better side today? I think that RCB on paper, on form, should smash Calcutta Knight Riders, really.
RCB side reminds me of the Deccan Chargers side, in the first 2 IPLs where they looked so strong on paper. But this RCB has done well also. It was not like they did up to now. They have done well. So they have at least gelled with the team. On paper, the team looks, if you see on paper wise, I would say they are the best team in the whole IPL.
Why was the Champions T20 League cancelled? What was the main reason? I think that the scheduling was one of the main reasons.
The money was also, it was not getting in money. That was the main reason.
Yeah, and there's only so many ICC ordained events you can have. Okay. What do you think about IPL being fixed? No hope. I don't think so. There's too much involved with this to win that players wouldn't underperform. I don't think. None of this competition they won't. Although fixing is said to be as much as 70% of the performances. That's what do you think KOHLI says? Look, KOHLI not captaining is a bit of an emotional situation, especially because Virat Kohli has not won an IPL as captain. So this is why I think he's going to make a really big effort this time to win it. And tonight has to be the start of it. They have to really put a big stamp on this victory against KKR. As I said, KKR won 2 matches. It's just not good enough.
But no, look at it this way. See, Kohli has been a RCB captain for how many seasons? I think 7, 8 or maybe more.
At least.
I think. And it's not that RCB ever had a bad team. It was like I would say that RCB had a bad team, or they were the team combination or the players, the talents or something less. Let's say, the matter of fact, he entered only one final, right? RCB entered only one final. They were able to, and they lost that. So in effect, he did not win any I. So does this in a way like say about his captaincy? Like, okay, win percentage is one thing, but does this say also something that there is something wrong, or somewhere something is going wrong? Because the results are showing that. You cannot deny the fact.
It's a very hard tournament to win. Let's be honest. Very hard tournament to win. I mean, you've got to have a good side, and Mumbai Indians have had a very good side the last few seasons. Rohit Sharma has captained well, certainly, but he has had a good side as well. Harsh Gupta says he thinks the IPL should be played in countries like England, Australia, New Zealand. I don't think so. Doesn't need to be. Yeah, I mean, it has to be. I mean, they even played, would you believe, a Brisbane or a Queensland Premier League just the last few weeks.
I don't think the government of India will also allow, because there's a lot of loss of economy, and also because once you shifted outside, all the hotels, there are so many ancillary ways of people earning, which, like,
you're right.
Last time when it was in South Africa, that was a different issue, which also the government was very unhappy with, shifting the IPL to South Africa. That's as if saying the security in India is not good. And then now switching over there, everybody knew that it's the issue of the corona pandemic. So shifting it over there was a problem.
Well, they should be tossing now. But look at KKR. They've had 7 games. They've won 2 matches. Awful. The only real team that's going to threaten Mumbai Indians is Rajasthan Royals. But have they got enough players on it?
I would say Kings has more
of a chance. Yeah.
Sunrisers Hyderabad, though, I think is out. I don't think they have.
They're gone. They've got no hope. And especially Kolkata Knight Riders loses tonight. They're out as well. Wonder why they haven't tossed. There's no weather issues, are there?
I hope nothing happens on this IPL or they have these for Corona
Okay,
thing.
I'm going to answer some fan questions. Which spinner is the most complete T20 bowler in the IPL? Chahal or Chakravarti? What would you say?
Yuzvendra Chahal.
Yep. Or I'd say Chahal. Yeah, Chahal's by far the most popular. 13,000 people voted for that. Where should Narayan bat for KKR? Opener? 3, 4,
Yeah,
5, 6.
he is
Opener?
doing well in opener. Even in the T10, he did well as an opener.
Yeah, that's where they're putting.
These are which questions? You do it on poll or these are like on your Instagram?
These are polls. These are just polls. I'm just making these questions up for the
Okay.
poll. Who is the most inventive? Who's the more inventive batter? De Villiers, Maxwell, or Morgan? Has to be De Villiers.
I was like,
Well,
Pant is
Maxwell's-
also up the league now. And yesterday, Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Which young opener is more suited for T20 cricket, Gill or Padikkal? I'd say Padikkal.
Yeah, Padikkal.
That's right. That was the answer. Who has the bigger impact on IPL, De Villiers or Narayan? De Villiers. Silly comparison. Who is more intimidating to bowl to at the death, De Villiers or Russell?
There, I'll say Russell.
Russell? No, they're saying De Villiers. Which spinner is more important to their team? Chahal? I hate this. Chahal, Chahar, Chakravarti, or Jadeja? I'm going to say Chahal.
I would say Chahar actually. In fact,
Oh,
even in
Chahal,
the previous question for the spinner that you asked, I think more impact is Chahar because his bowling he is a little faster through the air.
The question about Faf du Plessis not being the T20 squad, I don't understand it.
Nobody knows.
Sorry.
RCB have decided to bat first on winning the toss.
Have they?
Yeah.
Well, that's almost given us the victory there, I think.
And Venkatesh Iyer will be debuting for KKR.
Oh, it's going to be an RCB victory if they're batting first. They're going to pile a lot of runs. They're going to make it very difficult for RCB win the toss and elect to bat. Well, that's basically they're
Two debutants for RCB. So Bharat and Hazaranga will be playing. Who's KC Bharat? Never heard about it.
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
KS Bharat, sorry.
Where are you seeing you're from? I'm looking at the ICC IPL website.
I'm looking at ESPN Crick Info.
It's funny, the IPL website, which should be the place where things are first added, you would think, but no, they're not.
Well, it's how fast it gets updated also. That's a...
Yeah, but really, the Kolkata Knight Riders, geez, they're going to have it. They're going to be up against it. They're not going to do very well, I tell you. Before we get to the teams, let's have a look at these other questions. Who is RCB's most important batter? De Villiers or KOHLI?
I would say De Villiers. Then second, I would say Maxwell.
Yeah, it's De Villiers 2/3, 1/3. That's for sure. Which West Indian has...
Because looking at how Maxwell plays here is also important looking at the T20 World Cup because he would play last IPL was terrible for Maxwell in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So
Harsh Gupta's asking to choose Aaron Finch as the new captain. For who?
CSK. Aaron Finch is playing. I think he's not in the IPL, right?
No, well, it won't be. It'll be the World Cup, of course. So, which England international will Rajasthan Royals miss the most? Archer, Butler, Stokes. Stokes. They're saying Archer. I don't agree. And we asked this question yesterday: who will finish the top of the table between CSK, DCMI, and RCB? Who's going to finish?
I think DC.
I think DC as well. But they're saying CSK. There's a heavy emphasis on CSK, actually. Interesting. Okay, so read out the sides if you want to. Did you say you got the sides?
I didn't. Yeah, Kolkata Knight Riders, Venkatesh Iyer, Shubman Gill, Nitish Rana, Rahul Tripathi, Ian Morgan, Andre Russell, Dinesh Karthik, the wicketkeeper, Sunil Narayan, Lockie Ferguson, Varun Chakrabarti, and Prasidh Krishna.
Name the bowlers again.
Sunil Narayan, Lockie Ferguson, Varun Chakrabarti, Prasidh Krishna. And Andre Russell will also bowl.
Okay, so that's not a very strong team, is it? I don't think.
I think the only two, Sunil Narayan, Prasidh Krishna. Let's see.
I wonder why they're not mentioning. They're not telling us on other platforms the.
The
So
RCB.
RCB have decided to bat first, as we said, on winning the toss. Venkatesh Iyer's debut for KKR, so it's a debut for Venkatesh Iyer, has been confirmed. 2 debutants, KS Bharat and Hasaranga.
Yeah.
And KOHLI says, for RCB, KOHLI says grass covering is to hold service together. We think it's going to slow down as the game progresses. More special than the 12th game is this uniform. We promised that we would be playing for the COVID Warriors. Well, these jerseys auction for people. Okay, good.
Harsh Gupta is mentioning England. There were a lot of people complaining. Even my friends in UK were saying that Sky Cricket. I don't know what exactly happened. They were not happy with. So during IPL they were showing the England versus New Zealand women's match or what? Are you aware of that, Norman?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just think that there's too much emphasis played on that whole scenario. I think there's far too much going on. They're making a big deal out of that whole, relationship of you understand the relationship between the England players not coming. I find that all a bit. It's irrelevant.
A lot of news are, especially with the New Zealand. The New Zealand actually leaving Pakistan has not left a good taste, overall for cricket.
Because we didn't really find out what was wrong. We didn't really find out what the true.
But they are not even saying, like, right now why the Pakistan board is also upset, because the agency is saying that we won't tell this to you also, even in private. So they are saying, and they have a very right to say that they feel that there was really nothing. It was just being overcautious or a blunder that was created. But in a way, they have hurt Pakistan cricket badly, and that's really what we don't need now. Because at least now, even England is now again saying that we will play the matches in Dubai instead of playing in Pakistan. So Pakistan is again saying that no, if it has to be played, it has to be played here. Then there are even talks of Pakistan boycotting the T20 World Cup, saying that cricket has to be played in a country, otherwise we won't play. There are even talks of that Pakistan might.
I mean, I'm a little bit suspicious of this whole thing. I think it was, if there was a security concern, we need to know a bit more about it. You just can't use that. You can't have that situation at all. Is this Froggy in the background? What Froggy? On my side?
Can't see no frog in.
I'm not sure.
My son has lots of frog, but I don't think he could see anyone.
All right, let's just read this. Let's go through the sides very quickly. So Kolkata Knight Riders had Venkatesh Iyer and Shubman Gill. Good to see Shubman Gill playing. I feel sorry. Nitish Rayner and Tripathi, pretty strong, but Morgan, Honor Russell, Dennis Karthik, Sunil Narayan, Lockie Ferguson, Chakravarthi, and Prasad Krishna. I don't think that much on that side. RCB, KOHLI, Padikal, Case Barrett on debut, Maxwell, AB de Villiers, Wanindu Hazaranga, Sachin Baby, Kyle Jamieson, that's a huge selection. Harsha Patel's good, Siraj, Yuzendra Chahal, who's got a lot to prove. I'm expecting.
Who did Bharat come in the place of?
They had problems with that first drop position, remember? They had a problem with that position. They've had problems filling that position. Who was it? Well, Dan Christian was not on the side either. I'm just trying to remember who they've definitely lost a player in their batting. I can't think of the name of the person. But look, they were struggling with it. So KS Barrett's been given the chance. Let's see how he does. Big shoes to fill, but pretty.
And RCB is going only with 3 foreign players, or 4. Oh yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Maxwell, Villiers, Hazaranga, and Kyle Jamieson. Because in the first leg they played a couple of matches which I think they went with only 3, and it was a lot of comments from people on that.
So Wanindu Hazaranga, he's an all-rounder, isn't he?
But he's a very good spin bowler. His best thing is like his.
But he can bat. He can bat as well.
It's very difficult to pick his off spinner and straight one, and also his dusra. It's very difficult. I would say he would take 2 or 3 wickets in today's match and be very economical.
But he's also batting at number 6, which is pretty high in the batting order, isn't it? So KOHLI has. I'll repeat what KOHLI said. Grass covering is to hold the surface together, no more. We think it's going to be a slow down in the game progresses. The pitch will slow down, that is. More special for his turn of the game with the uniform. He talked about the COVID Warriors. Morgan says should stay similar throughout. Team not drastically different from our last outing. That was a few months ago, fella. It is drastically different. Different location. We had a lot of positive take, and we are hoping we can turn around quickly. Morgan's having himself on there. He should have changed his side because really they were pretty ordinary before. So Hazaranga must be a decent bat. He's batting above Kyle Jamieson, who's pretty good in himself. Lockie Ferguson could be the only bonus for Kolkata Knight Riders, but gee, they got Andre Russell up the order. They're going to miss Pat Cummins. Yeah, I don't like the look of the biggest problem with KKR, Baram, is Owen Morgan himself.
Yeah,
Owen Morgan himself, his form's been disgraceful.
Maybe he needs to wear 3 caps while he's coming to field instead of his usual 2. Maybe do some change, or just wear 1 cap and come.
All right, so yesterday's victory, of course, was CSK over Mumbai Indians. Who batted first? CSK, didn't they? Correct? Who's batting first today? RCB. I think we're going to see.
That's why I add on to throw a monkey wrench into this. RCB has lost in last year batting first at this venue. They lost many matches. Exact, I don't know, but I think there are some stats on that their batting first at this ground has not been good.
They want to break that, don't they? They've got KOHLI, Padikal, Maxwell, and de Villiers to change that. And Kyle Jamieson's a huge in for them. Huge in. And Yuzvendra Chahal has got a lot to prove. He was dropped for the World Cup. He's going to want to play out of his skin, I bet. So, yeah, that's an interesting situation indeed. Yeah, I'm not getting too excited about the KKR team.
The team looks so like, I don't know, team does not even look like a team. Means honestly, there's no. Difficult to say.
Well, the batting lineup, I mean, Shubman Gill is a quality batter. We know that. But he's not surrounded by a lot of great players at the moment. Andre Russell can only win games so many times. There's no Pat Cummins.
Even he's out of form, actually. The first half, he was also not in much of a click.
No, but Pat Cummins was one of their best players in the first 29 matches. He's not even on the side now. Huge hole. Huge hole. Huge hole. Distinctly huge hole. Not looking good. I would argue that if RCB don't win and win handsomely, they're letting themselves down because, again, as I said, CSK and Delhi Capitals have got the jump on them at the moment. They need to keep pace with them, and they can only do that by winning. There's a lot to prove for KKR here, and they're not going to do it. Owen Morgan's captaincy days, I believe, are numbered. I don't think he's really got the situation there.
He's a good ODI captain, Ian Morgan, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. ODI, I would give him credit. That's true. All right, your take. Give me your 2-minute take before you go.
I think RCB will win.
By how much?
I would say 40 runs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a convincing victory. RCB are going to put on a huge, well, when I say a huge score, a decent score, around the 150, 160 mark.
I'd say even 180, 170, 180 is also possible. And given Hazaranga is playing, I think they might bowl them out for 135, 140.
Yeah, I think because most of these players would not have had much to do with Hazaranga. They wouldn't know how to play him. And obviously Chahal wanting to show his wares as well. So the question is, who's opening for RCB? Well, it looks like RCB are opening with they're going to open him with KOHLI and Padikkal. Looks like KOHLI's opening.
Why Cummins not playing?
Cummins that's a great question. If he's saying he needs to rest for the IPL, that's a bit of a joke. He hasn't done anything for the whole year.
He needs to rest for the T20 World Cup, right? That's what he said.
Well, he didn't play the matches in. Well, put it this way: he hasn't played enough cricket, so this would have been. They needed to play the IPL to get used to the conditions, the bowling conditions, the batting conditions, fielding conditions, the weather, everything. They've missed a trick here. Pat Cummins, is he that spoilt? What's going on here? I don't know what's going on.
Maybe
I don't understand.
He's renovating his new house.
Is his wife giving birth? They're all giving birth. My God, it's been a very fertile season.
Yeah.
Butler, KOHLI not long ago. God knows what's going on there. Warner's had a few come out. Oh, once a while ago now.
I think started it. I think if I'm not wrong.
Well, whatever Pat Cummins' reason, it's not good enough. He can't be overplayed. I mean, I know he's got the Test Ashes series later in the year, but I mean, really, Harsh Gupta's got a gut feeling. I hope you're not pregnant yourself there, Harsh.
Maybe he's having tummy problems. Harsh.
I don't think there's. RCB are really going to be out to win. Did you see Oman scored 6 for 239 against the USA? 6 for 240 at the moment against the USA. And
didn't see that.
Oman, you watch that. Oman will get up there.
For me, I think the team to watch out, the wild card will be Papua New Guinea in the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, they got some natural skill. They're very naturally skillful guys, I must say.
They can be the next West Indies. Okay, Norman, I'll make a move.
Thanks, Bram. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you tomorrow or another day. Okay? Thanks again.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy the match and see you tomorrow.
RCB to win.
Yeah.
So it's good having both Gill and Beram there to help out with this pre-show. Again, as we said yesterday, Kolkata Knight Riders are, well, I said today, KOHLI Knight Riders have got an upward battle to even win this match, and if they look like they won't, RCB will win that. We're basically looking at a situation. Rogers and Rawls should buy Devon Conway, Kangaroo, Mahapal. Maybe they should. Realistically, RCB should. Okay, RCB's bowling is stronger than KKR, so RCB still holds the edge. Batting still looks dangerous. RCB, I don't think so. The batting looks very good. I think that they've got a lot of scope here. I think that RCB are in the box seat here to win and win well, pushing Kolkata Knight Riders further down the list. KKR and Sunrise Hyderabad are out. Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals will fight it out with Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians will have the edge. The other three are through. CSK, DC, as in Delhi Capitals, and this team here, RCB, whom I'm expecting to win today, will all be on 12 points and only need to win 2 games each, which is a bit of a cakewalk for them. What do you think of Tim David? Hopefully not a flash in the pan. Good hitter. Norgay is so underutilised by DC. What do you think? Quick Legends, I think you're right, but there's still a long way to go in this tournament. Don't worry. Plenty of opportunities to use him using well. Don't discount that fact. So here we go. We've got match about to start. See how we're going. KOHLI, it's not the KKR. Even though Kolkata, RCB have not played well batting first, they got to win. They got to win. Abhishek Sharma, he says they want to remove KOHLI's captain is fine, but shouldn't be basically standing up with him and quashing media reports calling him autocratic and communicado did decent. No, they're not saying that at all. Ishan Kishana above Shikhar, right or wrong decision. You're talking about for the IPL, or you're talking about the World Cup. Yeah, Ishan Kishan's the future. We've got to give him credit. He's the future. Okay, so we've got there's a long way to go before we get a situation. Okay. Maybe the Villiers, Virat or Maxwell at the death. Well, Virat, Maxwell at the death. AB and Maxwell at the death. Virat's not open. They could be all there. I think they can pick Aaron Finch in the next auction and make him next captain of RCB. Well, that would be a good choice. Aaron Finch would be a good choice. I get that. All right, guys. We'll be not getting a post show tonight. It's not worthy of the time. We'll do pre and post yet again tomorrow before the next game, and that'll be an interesting match as well. Because the next game that's on, let's have a look at the next game. There's a live score series, IPL. Yeah, I should have actually had that. Let me have a look at that. So look at that. Location. There we go. All right. Lost you there for a minute. Okay. So, what do you think about the Ashes series? Well, at this stage, it's too early to say, but England are going to do very well, but Australia should win. Aussie have been underwhelming, very much so. Underwhelming all year in everything they've done. Let's be honest, it's been a horrible year for the way that we've done things here. Very much horrible year. I'm not expecting anything more than what we normally would get there. So you have to wonder about a lot of aspects of Australia's cricket this year. It's been disgraceful. Since the Gabba loss, we've virtually not played any cricket at any stage. It's been ordinary to say the least, I must say. Try to add some. I don't know where it's gone. All right, so the game's only a matter of 2 minutes. When Maxwell had a poor record in the UAE, he has. Well, getting more views during test matches. What do you make of it? Yes, Abhishek Gachamada. And of course, this is IPL. This is a different situation altogether. It's not. I make nothing of it. We can't have record attendance every time. Some key players not picked franchise like Miles Labuschagne, great player. Kane Gray, he's not played well. He's not been a part of any because I don't think he's as good a short form of a player as you might think. As a matter of fact, I think there's a lot less going on there than you think about him. What happened to that? It's funny how that didn't come through. I have to get up again. Yeah, the whole way that this whole performance has gone has been rather disappointing. Let's be honest. Certainly has been disappointing, and I think that Australia has a lot to be. The Taliban have banned the broadcast of IPL T20 matches in Afghanistan due to anti-Islamic comment. Oh God. Do we really care? I don't think so. But we should care because it's not nice. I'm going live. Going live. Okay. All right, let's just have a look here. I'm thinking about changing the actual the icon for that. It hasn't been a very popular one. Let's have a look here. Can we do it? Are we able to edit the actual change image for the library? I'm just trying to change the image because I don't think the image has worked too well. Okay. Okay. Not letting me do that, is it? That's not good. Okay. What do you think about Gal saying he's going to Pakistan tomorrow? I think he's just saying he supports Pakistan, which is fair enough. What about Sunrise Hyderabad? They're gone. Pakistan, the T20 World Cup, you'd have to suggest Baba Azam again should be the major player. Can Shubman make good runs today? What is your view of this topic? Well, yes, he should. He's refreshed. I don't think Nathan Lyon, he's better. Nathan Lyon's even played for Australia. He played for any matches started. That's true. All right, guys, so we can start watching it now. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Very, very interesting to see what happens with them. Some time buys him an over. The reality is that Owen Morgan's got 2 caps on his head, which is not a good start. So Virat Kohli versus Owen Morgan, you would argue every time it's a Virat Kohli victory. Peltzer to get 2 centuries. Rahul Rock, I think David Warner's going to need more than 2 centuries in the second leg to get any hope of getting Sunrise Hyderabad off the bottom. It's time for ICC to boycott Afghanistan cricket. They're pretty close to it, I think. Morgan could do with finding some form. He needs to find form. Absolutely. Absolutely. So RCB, as we said, won the toss and chosen to bat. And we're off with KOHLI. Vera KOHLI's out there in a very nice light blue outfit, which is obviously the colours of the staff that have helped with the COVID heroes, the pandemic heroes, COVID heroes. Definitely Padikal and Chakravarti is opening the bowling, and Dinesh Karthik is keeping, who's passed it, to be honest. Chakravarti is opening the bowling for KKR. The ground, Abu Dhabi, is a picturesque ground surrounded by some desert-like car parking spots. Padikal left-hand bat, looks like he'll be a future representative player indeed. Virat's persisting with himself as opening the batting, which tells me that he will continue to open the batting for the T20 World Cup with Rohit Sharma or maybe, well, KL Rahul possibly as well. Pretty strong upper batting order they'll have there. Channel streams IPL in Australia. It's always going to be Foxtel, the great channel that it is. Great broadcaster. Yeah, it's impressive, the outfits of RCB, very much in the form of the blue colour of the medical staff that are there, the COVID heroes, as we were, COVID warriors. It's a very impressive colour. So far, not many runs being scored. So the batting line, we've got KOHLI, Padikal, Bharat, who's new, Maxwell, De Villiers, Baby, Azaranga, who's batting quite high, Jamieson, Harshal, and then Siraj and Chahal. Pretty good. Where's Brahm live? Here. People ask a lot of questions about many people. It's a personal thing. We're going to meet them all when we tour around the world. I'll tell you that much now. A big plus for Morse will be traveling around the world. So, really, guys, we may actually cut short. So, Andre Russell's there. You can see him. Padikal, the colours there, it's very impressive. So South Africa beat West Indies women 4-1 in a fairly underwhelming series there in the West Indies on their way home. Can't get too excited about that, I must say. Very, very underwhelming situation. How the media rights for broadcasting are all done. It's a long-winded process, but they're done with a great deal of financial backing. Rohit KOHLI opening is akin with Sachin Sehwag opening. Will be a treat to watch. It will be. If they open the batting for the World Cup with KL Rahul there as well, it's an enormous opening partnership. Enormous. They should tear a lot of sides apart. Prasidi Krishna's opening the bowling with Chakravarti, King, KKR. I'm not impressed with their side. Owen Morgan's captaincy doesn't impress me either, to be honest. And that mistiness that happens at Abu Dhabi, like UAE, stands are not covered, but there's this twilight zone going on. Prasidi Krishna, don't forget, was actually brought into the squad to tour that were toured England. Yeah, protocols. SA, South Australia was a tie that played Super, but the Sat with West Indies being beaten by South Africa overall. Very sometimes we play too much cricket. Surprised by Varun's inclusion in the World Cup squad. And he's Chakravarti looks pretty solid. He doesn't look that bad here at all. There's a wide early on in the performance. How will BCCI compensate the loss of England? I don't think they're responsible for that. I really don't. So what should we be compensating South Africa and playing in South Africa? And last year's team, I think this whole thing needs to be just left alone. England cannot assume money's there to be taken. Okay, so there's a new IC rules require Super Over women's ODIs. Fair enough. Lovely shot from KOHLI. Beautifully timed through the cover region. Beautiful shot, KOHLI. Let him just be a batter. You watch how good that man can be. Let's be honest. Tremendous player he is. Oops. Oh my God, KOHLI's been given out, LBW, early on in the match. Yeah, tomorrow this in Brisbane. That's right, the women's team is on. Yes, it is. It certainly is. Vera's going to step down, asking what's your opinion. If he feels it's his time and he's decided, great. Looks like KOHLI's challenged his decision. Let's see if the original decision is out, whether that means he's out. DRS showing the ball coming onto the stumps, relatively high in the blue so-called COVID Warriors outfit. All right, guys, there's no edge. KOHLI's out, I'm going. So KOHLI hit his pad. Looks a little bit high. Does look a little bit high to me. I know Russell's already sweating. Shubman Gill's injury was enough to knock him out of the entire Test series, but he's back again. They're taking their time with this decision. And Ash Gupta's saying KOHLI is out. Are you basing that on the finger going up? Maybe I'm in a delayed broadcast. I can't see that yet. Gee, they're taking their time. Wicket's hitting. He's looking out. He's out. You're right. KOHLI's definitely out. It's not the performance KOHLI wanted to have. All right, guys, we might call it quits there unless you've got some question. KOHLI's out very, 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 very early. Indeed. Good delivery. It was a very good delivery. Rohit Sharma's recovering from injury. ODIs are at Mackay, correct? In central Queensland. It's a fairly ordinary location, but anyway. So got this young man coming in, Bharat, for his first match. He'll be quite nervous, won't he? Certainly will be. Must be a pretty good bat if he's going in first game at first drop ahead of AB de Villiers and Glenn Maxwell. He must be pretty good. Whether Bharat's up to it or not, we'll have to wait and see. The poor run continues. Yes, it does a little bit. A good ball, but it was a fairly lackadaisical shot there from KOHLI. Didn't really have any purpose to his shot at all. All right. I think Shafane Rutherford will be a turning point for SRH. Well, their turning point, Rahul Rock, is too late. They've only won one game. They've got virtually no hope of making the top four. They might win some games towards the end, perhaps, but yeah, there is. There is definitely I think the commentary is different. So listen. Actually, no, they're using the same commentators. The IPL commentators are the same all around the world. They're not using different ones. We may have had a preliminary discussion before going on air, but it's ultimately the same people. So Lockie Ferguson's on pretty early on. All right, guys. Any questions? You need to ask me questions because the game has started now with Krishna taking the wicket of KOHLI. RCB looks like, depending only on Vera. No, that's not true. They got Maxwell as well. Padikal's a fantastic player. Let's not discount him at all. So Lockie Ferguson hasn't played much at all. Bowling at a fair clip. Has umpires tendency to give out increase with the umpire's call rule? No such thing as benefit of doubt to the batsman anymore. What do you think? Well, it's just the way it is for both sides. It's not. I don't think it's a bad way. That was clearly hitting the stumps, so he was out. But they've got to have some decision process, don't they? It did KOHLI quite high though, I must say. And Padikkal hit a beautiful shot straight back over the bowler's head. Padikkal's not to be sneezed at. He's a very good player. play bold is the hashtag there for KOHLI's mob. Hit that with great comfort. No, Kumble is not the reason behind sacking KOHLI for captaincy at all. No. And KOHLI wasn't sacked, he's left. Yeah, so don't think that. Time to bring some new innovations in technology. Bored with the old technology. BBL has better technology than uphill. I don't think so. I think it's pretty good too. I'm not saying it's unfair. I'm saying umpires have become more liable, liberal in calling out. Maybe, perhaps. Very bleak looking night, even though it's clear sky. Barrett looks a bit nervous. Being his first match, we've got to give him that much. That's fair enough. All right, I'm going to be leaving you guys to watch. What's another look? That's the same wicket. Christian's very happy indeed. Yes, okay. I'm not saying much in the way that the outfits are, of course, for the COVID warriors, as they call it. As you know. So most people are saying RCB will win. RCB. Well, Virat Kohli's team are selling him in the top three. It's hard to really know. It's so early on. What about helmet cameras and BBL, but not uphill? They should try that, yes. I want to ask you to put a big score on the board, and I want to see Russell show. Yeah, well, we'll wait and see about that. Ground looks impressive, though, I must say. All right, guys, I think we're going to leave it at that tonight. What do you think about watch long cricket? It has become a new trend in YouTube. That's true. I missed that too. What do you think about the watch long cricket? It has become a new trend on YouTube. Watch long, watch the entire match. Yeah, it's just better viewing. It's more readily accessible for people. All right, guys. We might leave it at that. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow for the pre-show and post-show. This game at this point in time, RCB, close to edge there. But RCB will probably win this. I can't see. Maybe the next coach in Kumble. I don't think there's anything to do with Kumble not getting along with KOHLI that's the reason for it at all. No. Because he would be immediate then. He's still playing. He's not maybe not going to be captaining, beyond the World Cup, but he's still going to play. So if he doesn't get along, he won't want to play, let alone be captain. So I don't think that's the case at all, guys. So don't think that. Don't think that. All right, guys. So view, like, and share the post. Subscribe if you can. If you haven't done already, notifications. Go to my Instagram and my Twitter at Norman Koch. I've got Norman Koch live on, obviously, the likes of LinkedIn, my Facebook. I've got my YouTube channel there, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. Okay. I don't know why there's no hotspots in IPL. There should be. It looks like a bit of a no ball there. It's no ball and a free hit. Exactly. Clear curving Kohli's power. It shows. Oh, look, Kohli's not that much of a fool. He's made a lot of money. He wants to prolong his career. He knows batting is his key. His captaincy he can give to others and still be able to take the burden off his back. That's what he's done. Ball's gone to. Oh my God, is he out? It's a no ball. So the ball up in the air was caught by, it looks like Gill, but it was a no ball by a country mile. Woeful short ball all over his head. All right, guys. 2 no balls continuously. That's not good. No balls slipping. All right, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow, okay? We've had a great session. Thanks to both Gurkrat Gill and obviously Bar Amarani. Talk to you tomorrow.